That's good.
Yes, how are you, Boo?
Okay. How are you? I'm
Yeah,
fine.
I'm fine
I'm
too.
fine.
Yeah,
I'm
any
fine.
news? Any news today?
Um, Now I'm going away next week,
Ah,
down to Telluride and Silverton and Crested Butte, which is down south of here, about
uh-huh.
3 hours, 3 or 4 hours,
How long will
and
you stay?
about 3 hours.
Ah, okay. I thought for
About
three
three
weeks or
hours.
something like this.
No,
No.
it takes about 3 hours. We're going to stay for a week,
Ah, week, yeah.
and it's the wildflower flower capital of the country. So
Which flower capital?
wildflowers.
Wildflowers capital of the country. Ah,
So all the wildflowers are starting to be in bloom.
uh-huh.
So I wanted to go down there.
Yeah. So you will always also meet lots of bees.
Lots of what?
Bees.
Bees? Oh
Yes,
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 yes.
yes. Yeah,
I
sure.
have a lot in
Because
my garden. I have a lot in
yeah.
my garden
Oh,
because I
today I
have.
saw a very, very big bee. Um, it was truly a bee. It was not. Um, in
Wasp?
German we call it Wespe. It was not a Wespe.
A wasp.
There are different sizes of bee kind animals, and there was a very huge bee uh, on the balcony today.
Maybe it was a wasp.
No, it was not a wasp, and it wasn't also not uh, a bigger one. I don't know the name of it.
Was it all
Um,
fluffy? Was it like a queen bee?
no, it was not. It wasn't
No, they
fluffy.
don't usually come out of the hive. I think the
It
queen.
was a very huge one. But I can exclude a queen. This I'm able to exclude. Um,
Right, they stay in the hives and the
yeah,
drones go out.
yeah, and
The bee is bird.
I think it was. Uh, yes, it was a bee, and and I don't think that it was a drone. Um, I'm not, I'm really not sure what it was, but it was very huge.
Maybe a hornet.
And this is the thing. It wasn't a hornet, and it wasn't a
Oh,
vesp. It was definitely a bee, but it was in larger than an average bee. And this was very interesting. And this
climate.
animal was alone. And after a while, three or four others were also flying around, and they were huger than usual.
Hmm. Well, we've lately had wasps like crazy,
Uh,
and but I've had a lot of bees because I left a lot of the dandelions. But now I went this weekend. I've been pulling them all out
mm.
to put some plants in, and I've seen a lot of bees, but I'll see more soon. Not yet. There's not that many flowers yet
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's still pretty cold at night.
Mm.
It gets cold.
In Austria, it's also called wild night, and yeah, and currently we have differences between 5 and 10 degrees between night and day.
Oh,
But this is typical in May. In June it's a bit different, but for May it's still typical, and it's well, currently it's raining, and
oh, rain. What is
since
rain?
3 weeks we had
What
no
is
rain.
rain?
Yes, this is this with the drops from the sky, you know, this.
I know. We have not had rain in over 6 months.
Oh, okay. We had 3 weeks we had no rain.
Oh,
And
it's such a drought here. We
okay.
can't have any outdoor fires. I haven't been able to use my fire pit in 3 years
Mm-hmm.
because there's such a high fire danger.
Mm-hmm.
So we're helping
Well, so I
Gabby.
wish I wish you rain.
Oh, I'm praying for rain. I
Yeah.
remember that song from your friend, Praying for Rain,
Mm-hmm.
and it was on Spotify.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have Spotify now. Otherwise, I was going to post Praying for Rain. Praying. It's, I've been watering the trees to try to save them.
Mm-hmm.
And I put in some flowers this weekend, did a lot of grounding, did a lot of work.
Yeah, but it's a
But
beautiful work. Grounding is a
oh,
beautiful
yeah.
work, and the reward is blooming flowers afterwards, or strawberry plants with fruits. So this
I
work
have a
is
thing.
rewarded afterwards.
I always used to grow strawberries.
Mm?
And then I forget what happened, but we changed the garden around and I didn't put the strawberries in. But they're always so nice, just
Yes,
fresh
and
from the
they are
garden. You're
very
just like,
tasty.
eat them all, eat them
Yes,
all.
sure. No
Like they're
strawberry
like,
plant is safe when I'm in the surrounding.
yeah,
Yeah, today the stream is also very strawberry colored. Yeah,
yeah.
the color from the heart. But I decided for this color because you know this is the format where I constantly try to get better in English, and I want to learn how to use reported speech, and I want to discuss about the different meanings when different expressions are being used. The problem I have with it is that in German we use a completely different concept for this. We use the so-called conjunctive. It's not a tempus, yeah. It's not like present tense or past tense or something like this. It has just different endings. Yeah? But there is also the aspect of things in past and things yet and things in future. And for me, it's completely confusing how this is being used in English. And yes, I can build the forms. Yes, I can say something like, yes, Bo said she was a nurse. Yeah, but what does this exactly mean? Is she still a nurse or not? When I say Bo said she was a nurse.
Um,
Yes, do you
you
know what
could,
I mean? These
yes,
aspects of present and past
yes.
and things are
And
very
it has to
confusing for me.
do with what you're talking about. Say you were just talking about, I know this girl, Bo, she was a nurse. Um,
Wait a second. She said she was a nurse. So it's reported speech, some kind of indirect speech. And yes, it's a quote from a person. When I say Bo said she was a nurse, then it's a quote. Then what was the original expression by Bo? Was it I was a nurse, or was it I worked as a nurse, or I work as a nurse? What is the original expression behind this quotation?
I used to work as a nurse.
Wait a second, I have to
I
write this down. I used to work as a
as a
nurse.
nurse,
I
or
used,
I,
wait a second,
I
to
actually
work
I'm
as
still
a
a nurse.
nurse.
But
So,
let's go with
wait a
past.
second. So, this is the direct speech.
Okay.
Okay, so the quotation signs are on top. Yes, I know this, but my program change this. Okay, so I used to work as a nurse. So this was common for you to work as a nurse.
I would add, and now I am retired.
Yes, this is the continuing
But
expression.
you don't
But
have
when I
to.
want to when I want to make this in the style of a reported speech, I would say Bo said, because it's over. It's you said it in past, yeah. Bo said, uh, sh- she used. Wait a second, comma. She used to work as a nurse. Is this correct? Um,
Yes.
no, now it's correct. Okay. Um, and this means the same thing.
Yes.
But this is what you said. Okay, Bo said she used to work as a nurse. It's not she was using to work as a nurse or something like
No.
this. Okay.
No.
But what if
No.
this? What if this? Bo, direct speech, yes. I worked as a nurse. So what is now the reported speech? Would I say Bo said she uh, has worked as a nurse?
Yeah. And on that last one, go back. Go back one
Mm-hmm.
line.
I bring it on the
Um,
next page, then we have it in direct comparison. Mm-hmm.
what's it? Okay. So if I was saying it, I would say I worked as a nurse. When you're saying it about me. Bo, this other person, said she has worked as a nurse.
And then this is the original expression, and this is my
Yes.
expression when I talk about your expression.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. What if you say, Bo, I have been working. No, I have worked
Wait, let me
as a
say one
nurse.
thing. See this here? Bo said she has worked as a nurse. Wait, what's the line before that?
This is
Oh,
what you
put the
said.
parentheses.
You said I have worked as a nurse.
I have worked as a nurse or I worked as a nurse is
Yeah,
okay.
yes, but now you
But
say I have worked as a nurse before I before Hoppla. Before I retired.
right.
Then
Now
they have
use
worked
your
has a meaning. Yes, it was before this.
yes,
And
but
so I have worked is okay, isn't it?
I have worked as a nurse before I retired. Yes.
Before I
But
decided
listen, before the before the
to
punct
retire.
to retire, put the quotations before the punct.
Um, why? This is the direct speech, like in a dialogue.
Right, but you would put your quotes after my sentence before the period.
And like this.
Yeah, but
Aha.
we reverse the ending.
Aha, aha, aha. This is new for me. Okay, so
Th-
we have first
Those
we
are
have the
the other way.
quotation marks, and afterwards we have the period for the sentence or a question mark because of a question.
Right, but
Okay,
that right before the punct,
no
the
period.
the little quotation marks. they turn the other way
I cannot
at the
turn them
end.
around. This is the software I mentioned before.
Oh, okay.
Okay? This is the
Okay.
software. The software
Yes,
is
that's
doing
good.
it like this, yes, but I have to trick it a bit to have it then similar to this.
Oh, okay.
I cannot change
Okay.
this. See it as the
Before I
style,
retired.
see it as the style
Before
of
I
the font
decided to retire.
face.
That's correct.
So, okay,
I worked as a nurse.
now we have the expression. Please imagine to say, I have worked as a nurse before I decided to retire. So when I want to do a quote, an indirect quote, I would say Bo said that she. How would I continue this?
That she was a nurse before
But
she
but here
retired.
I have worked as a nurse. Is this really the same thing?
She. You could say that, yes.
Isn't
That
it
she
that she had
has,
worked
no,
as a
has,
nurse
that she
before
has,
she decided to retire?
yes, yes, yes.
Is this the quotation, the indirect quotation of this? The indirect
No,
speech?
it's just a statement. Both said that she had retired as a nurse before she had
Okay,
worked as a
what would
nurse.
be in the newspaper? Imagine you say, I have worked as a nurse before I decided to retire. What would a reporter place into the newspapers?
Um, Beau Jabor has now retired as a nurse.
No, the person want to say what you said.
Oh,
What's in the newspaper? They don't say Bo said she has worked as a nurse before she decided to retire. This they don't say. They use reported speech.
before she just to retire.
But what would they say? What would they write into the newspaper article?
Beau has been a nurse for many years and has now decided to retire.
So it's has been is in use. So Bo has been a nurse before she decided to retire.
Yeah, that would be fine. That would
Okay,
be fine.
so and this is exactly what I wanted to say. I have problems with the transformation between this into that. So the initiate expression to form from the initiate expression the how should I say reported speech. Let's imagine this example. A woman said a woman. So um, so this is what the woman says to the reporter now. Yeah, it is so horrible. The wind is extremely extremely heavy, and the rain is way too strong. So this is something the woman now says. But what would the reporter place into the newspaper?
She's strong. All right, the news reporter would say,
A woman said,
a
or
woman
reported.
said, a woman reported that the wind is extremely
Is or was?
blustery, not heavy. But the wind is very blustery. Let me look up another word for blustery.
Hmm. Sometimes people say something that is not correct. But
Wait,
what
let me
is
look up.
that? What the reporter writes into the newspaper?
Let me write
What
blustery.
sounds like a content for the newspaper?
Blustery. Gusty. Uh, howling. Roaring. Wild. Violent.
Let's use another example. Peter, I have 3 kids.
Wait, let me find you.
So,
Here
Peter,
you are.
I
There.
have 3 kids.
TH. 3.
Oh, yes, I have
Yeah.
3 kids. So, um, what would the reporter write into the newspaper?
Uh,
Peter reported
Peter
that.
reported that he has 3 kids.
So, uh, it's just a change between have and has, but it's the same expression.
Yes. Yes.
Hmm. Another example. The minister of Burundi. I hope this is my invention. Yes, it should not match a real country. Let's call this the minister of Burundi. Okay, so now it's
Okay.
maybe it's not a real place. Yeah, the minister of Burundi. Mm, poverty increased about 3%. What would be the expression in the newspapers?
The minister of Burundi has reported that the poverty has increased by about 3%.
Increased about 3%.
Percent.
The minister of Burundi has reported that the poverty has increased about 3%.
Right.
Aha. Has increased. Why have you changed here to has increased? And here, why is this still has and not something like Peter reported that he had 3 kids?
Um, the tense. If I would say that he had 3 kids,
Mm-hmm.
they could be dead
Ah,
or they
okay.
could be alive.
Uh,
He
and
had them at
and
some
he,
time in the past,
and
but it
here
also could be
here
he
it's
has
has in
children.
here it's has increased about 3%, but he said increased about 3%.
Poverty increased about 3%. Well, he could say that if he was just saying it off the cuff. Poverty hasn't, I would say poverty has increased by about 3%.
By about have
By
increased or
about,
has increased? I
that the
mean, in the
poverty that the
newspapers
poverty rate that the poverty rate has increased. Poverty rate has
has
increased
increased by about.
by about 3%. Minister Barandini has reported that the poverty rate has increased by about 3%. Yeah,
Uh-huh. And the minister said the original expression was poverty increased about 3%. Poverty rate increased about 3%.
right. And that's if
Why
he was
isn't it?
just saying,
Why isn't it?
say
The
he was,
minister of Burundi has reported that the poverty rate increased about 3%. Why is it has increased and not
um,
increased?
the poverty rate increased, has increased. You can say, you could say the poverty rate, if you were just making a statement, that the poverty rate increased, but the Minister Burundi has reported that the poverty rate, I don't know if you need that comma there.
Yeah, I have a question. I have a question. Okay, get rid of the comma. But I have a question. Hmm. When I hear this by myself, yes, when I'm there, when the minister is talking, when I'm there, and when I hear this, I'm sure that I can say, yeah, the minister said poverty rate increased about 3%.
Right, if that was part of his speech.
Yes, and when I was there and I was listening to him. But now there is someone else there. It's yes, a journalist, and the journalist writes a newspaper article. And now we have here has increased instead of increased. Is this some type of safety thing? Maybe it could be a bit different, but this is what I understood. Is this something the journalist is able to express with an expression like this?
You could say the minister has reported that the poverty rate increased by about 3%. I would use has just I don't know why I'd use it, but that's how I would use it.
Okay,
The
so
minister
let's find it out. Let's find it out. I'm sure
okay,
there is a
it
reason.
has
I'm sure there's a reason.
increased
Let's compare it
because
with
it's
this. Let's compare it
over a
with this.
period of time. Over a period of time,
Le-
it has
l-
increased.
let's compare it with this.
All right.
Um, uh, no, Johannes. Okay. Peter met Carl last Saturday. I bring it on the next page, and this is what I this is the original, the initiate expression. But what is in the newspaper?
Johannes has said that
Has
he met
said.
Carl. Oh, has reported.
Yeah, why has said, not said?
Johannes, because you're the reporter. Johannes has
Ah.
said,
Hmm.
he's saying what you said. Johannes has said that Peter met Carl last Saturday. And that would be in the context of his uh, verbalization, what he was saying.
Yeah,
He
maybe
probably
maybe you
he
tell
said more
this.
things before that. He
Maybe you
probably said
asked
more
me.
things.
Maybe you asked me about Peter and Carl, and I replied with Peter met Carl last Saturday. And now Jessica is asking you, but not what did Peter on Saturday or something like this. The question was, what was Johannes saying? Hmm, what did Johannes say? What said Johannes? I'm not sure about the expressions. I have no idea. Um, so Jessica is asking you
This
what
one is
I
right.
told you about Peter and Carl. And then you say Johannes has said that Peter met Carl last Saturday.
So I'm saying that to say
Is this that what you
Maria.
say to Jessica?
Okay, I'm saying it to Jessica. Johannes had said that Peter met Carl last Saturday.
Is this what you are saying when Jessica is asking what was Johannes saying about Peter and Carl?
I say, oh, that he met him, that Peter, Johannes,
Would you
Johannes
say
said that
has
he met
said
Carl.
or said?
Johannes has said
Has
that
said.
Peter met Carl last Saturday.
Okay. So um,
Johannes has said,
has
because
said
you said
that
that,
Peter met Carl
that's what you
last.
said, that Peter
Okay.
met Carl last Saturday.
Could it be also like this? Johannes said that Peter has met Carl last Saturday.
You could say that, because we're talking to Jessica.
Yes, this is yes, this is a quotation. You try to quote what I said. So I can you could say to Jessica, Johannes said that Peter has met Carl last Saturday.
I would say Johannes said um, that Peter met Carl last Saturday. I would leave out the has. Johannes said that Peter met Carl last Saturday.
So this is exactly that what I said.
Yeah.
Aha. Interesting. The thing is, when we talk about reported speech, we have to compare it with the German reported speech. When you say Peter hat Karl am letzten Samstag getroffen. So, Peter met Karl last Saturday. When I want to bring it in some kind of reported speech, I have to say, Johannes hat gesagt, dass Peter am letzten Samstag getroffen habe. There is a special form. We call this Konjunktiv 1. It's the first form of the so-called conjunctive, and this we need to have reported speech. So this is something that confuses me when we talk about the English language. Everywhere I read about reported speech, but nobody uses it. When I say Johannes has said that Peter met Carl last Saturday, it's not reported speech, it's just the same thing, but not with the meaning of reported speech. Reported speech is used in newspapers, and the journalists who use, on the first hand, use the reported speech, use reported speech because of the lack of 100% of correctness. They have the fear that they cannot bring the original term into the newspapers, and then they get sued. When they say something wrong, they get sued.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So this is the reason why they have to use the so-called reported speech, because when they use reported speech, there is always a little bit of yes, this is they say with this they say when I use reported speech, then the reader knows that this information is being researched, but it could be wrong.
Oh,
And this we can hear when reported speech is being used. So yes, this is something I can use. I can say Johannes has said that Peter met Carl last Saturday, but this is not reported speech. This is indirect speech, yes, but not reported speech. The difference you told me, yes, here the has increased is the part of the reported speech as I understood it. So from poverty rate increased about 3% changes to has increased about 3% because of this reported speech. Because of this, yes, I did the researches, I listened closely, but it could be wrong. This is what it expresses. When the minister of Burundi's original expression would be 3.1%, and when they say has increased by about 3%, it's completely okay. Yeah, but when they
yes.
say rate increased by about 3%, what about the 0.1%?
He's not getting into the details.
Yes, when
He's
we
just
do,
kind of rounding it. He's rounding it out.
yes, sure, but you can just do the rounding it out when you say has increased by about. Because the
Mm.
reported speech means it's reported as it is. But
Right.
when we have a bit of yes, we can say by about 3%. Yes, but when it's another sentence, the average. No, not the average. The total amount of the invoice was 255,356 point 75 US dollars. So, and when it's about the report about this, you cannot. Sure, you can say about 255,000 US dollars. Yeah, sure
Yeah.
you can say. But what if the minister of Burundi says that the complete yeah troubles with their household is 255,365,000 dollars? Then
And you would put a comma after that 5 to 255,
yes,
comma. Yeah.
yeah. Then how should I say? This is the minister. The minister said. So minister, the total amount of the state troubles was 252,365.75 dollars. How do I
I
bring this
don't,
into reported speech?
well, we're not going to say troubles. We're going to change troubles.
Yeah, but this is that what the minister said, and the minister is not a native. And this was means for me the problems are over. The problems are over. The troubles are over because
No.
it's was. It's not is. It's was.
Okay. If you used
Maybe he
was,
says,
if
and
you used,
now we have uh, $5 60. Yeah.
okay. Yeah. Total amount of the state's, not troubles.
Yeah, let's translate
Um,
it to native English. Yeah, the total amount of the state's debts.
the total amount of the state's resources.
This is about guiltiness, I think. When they have troubles, then there is money they don't have, isn't it?
Right. The
So
total amount of the state's resources was 255,000,
yeah,
and now he is reporting that there is only 560 left. He's reporting there's only 560 left. Run.
the total
Total amount
amount
of
of the
state's
state's resources was 255,356 dollars and 75 cents. Now he is reporting there is only $5 and 60 cents left.
and then he's going to have to say something else.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure that he has to say lots about this. Yeah, but was only the first example of that kind of reported speech. The total amount of the state's troubles. This is what the minister said. Yeah, was
Yes, yeah, I
this, and
wouldn't say
now it's that.
the total
Um,
amount of the state's resources, it seems to me,
is this
was that amount of
credit they
money.
need? Is this credit they need?
The
Resources.
amount of the state's resources was. Now he's reporting there is only 560 left. Yeah, where to
So this is
go?
what they have to pay to the bank, 560. And
Yes.
before it, so how many have they paid back? No, I'm just kidding. The total amount of the state's resources. So this is called state's resources.
Yes, what they had to put into construction, roads.
No, this is some kind of credit at the bank.
Oh,
The state troubles was $255,000, and now they have just 560 to pay back. Yes, and now there is the thing. We don't know exactly what the minister really means with that, what he said.
right.
Can we express this that we can be sure that the minister is not able to sue us for a wrong statement?
Oh, total amount of state's resources. Well, if he's reporting it, total amount of the state's resources was reported as 255.
But is it because of
However,
state resources? Is this correct?
its resources had been the
What
total
if
amount
what
of
what
the
if
bank.
he meant this?
All right, as a state's bank credit was 255.
But we
Now
don't
he's
know it
reporting
exactly.
there is only
We can just quote what he said. And
right.
this I try with reported speech. And now the question is, how do I have to write this that it's completely clear that it's on the first hand reported speech, and on the second hand there could be a mistake inside of this. So please, dear minister, don't sue us.
All right. The minister
Yeah,
has reported that the total amount of the state's credit,
yeah.
the state's, the total amount of the state's bank credit was 5, and put commas instead of periods.
Wait a second. I'm in the middle of writing. Total amount of the state's bank
Total amount,
credit. Could you please continue with this sentence? The minister
the
has
total
reported
amount of
that
the
the
state's
total
bank
amount of the
credit
state's bank credit
had been
had been
255. Had been 255.
could we say about 255,000
Okay, about. Point.
Can we say this?
Yes, the minister has reported that the total amount of the state's bank credit had been about 255,000.
Uh-huh.
Now the
With
total
comma?
now the total amount is $5. There's a lot missing here. There's a lot missing here in the meantime. Where did it go after
Yeah, maybe
here?
they paid it back. But this is not the point. The point here, or this is not the thing. The thing is that the minister said something. He reported something. He was talking about something, and the original term was the total amount of the state troubles was 255,300 blah blah blah. And now we have $5.60 of
Okay, but
troubles. Yeah, of troubles. So we say the minister has reported that the total amount of the state's bank credit had been about 255,000 US dollars. Now the total amount is just about $5.
give me more.
Do you know what I mean? The thing is, when we report something, we have to do this in a very sensitive way. When someone says, "I worked as a bartender, afterwards I studied whatever," and when we talk about this other person, we have to be very sensitive in that what we are saying, because the chance of a misunderstanding is huge. So we have to use this reported speech when we talk about others, especially when we talk about that what they said, to reduce our bad feeling when we say something wrong. And maybe the other person doesn't like this what we say. Yeah, when it's in a newspaper, the chance that we get sued is huge. When a journalist writes something wrong, then the newspaper gets sued by the person which was quoted.
Right, but the
And so
has
this is the reason.
reported
Yeah, and this
takes
is the
care of that.
exactly, exactly. So we need the reported speech to to do not have the problem of suing.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, and this
Because
is
he has reported this It's his own words. Even if
Yeah.
they're a total lie,
Mm.
this is what he has reported.
Yes, and
Now you
then the
can go.
person can always say, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I completely misunderstood this, but it's clear I used reported speech." Yeah, so this is reported speech, and now
Right,
you cannot sue me um, for talking bogus, yeah, because I understood it
right.
like this, yeah. This is the thing, exactly. This is the thing, and someone when someone says something, for instance, I bought my mobile phone at Walmart, yeah, and when you ask me, what has he said? Then I can say, he said that he has bought his phone at Walmart. It's a bit different, and I'm sure that the grammar is completely bogus, but but I try to use reported speech. Maybe you know what I mean. Can we write this down? Um,
Yeah, yeah.
so I ask Bo, where have you bought your mobile phone? Bo,
I went
where
to
have you bought
Walmart.
your mobile phone?
I went to Walmart and got
Okay.
it there.
I went to Walmart and
And
and got it
or
there.
and purchased it
Is it
there.
is it with one L? Yes, I think.
Yes. You
I
can
went
say
to
and
Walmart
purchased and
and
purchased. See, just yeah. I
it
went to Walmart
there.
and purchased it there.
Okay. So now Fred is asking me now, yes? Now Fred is asking me, Johannes, um, do you know where Bo bought her mobile phone? And then I can say, Bo said that she, without the comma, in German you need it, yes? Bo said that she
Went to Walmart.
went to
Or
Walmart
that she
and
got it at Walmart. She she got it at Walmart.
but this is not that what you said. You said I went to Walmart and purchased it there.
Rose said that she went to Walmart and purchased it there. Okay, good, good,
This is
good,
what
good.
you said. And now I want to quote exactly what you said, but I want to use indirect speech and I want to use reported speech. Is this reported speech?
Yes.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure,
So
yeah.
between here and there, nothing changes?
Because it's a fact. I went to Walmart and purchased it there. Rose said that she went to Walmart and purchased it there. Yes. I was
Isn't
talking
it Bo said that she uh, has been
has
to
been to
Walmart
Walmart.
and has purchased it there?
Fine. That she has gone. That she has well, all right. She
No, no,
went.
you don't say anything with go here. You're
All right.
sure you said something with go here.
Rose said that she went to
Go
Walmart
and
and purchased
gone.
it there.
Bo said that she has.
No, that she went to Walmart and purchased it.
Yes, but what if I say uh, not Walmart?
That she
Please,
had gone
please
to
say,
Walmart.
please say any other big brand, not Walmart. Another one.
Um, Bo said that she went to Radio Shack
Ah,
and purchased it there. And
is it
purchased
spelled
it there.
correctly? Is it spelled correctly? Correctly?
SHAK, SHACK,
SHCK.
ACK. A-C-K.
Ah,
Yeah.
SHACK. Okay. So Bo said that she went to Radio Shack and purchased it there. This is
Yeah.
not what you really said, but this is what I understood.
Yes.
So, could you now be angry on me or mad on me because I said it incorrectly? Or do I have to say has gone to and has purchased it there? When I'm not very sure about the correctness of my words.
Oh, that she went to purchase. Went reading that she has gone. That she has gone to
Hmm.
Radio Shack
And has
and
purchased.
purchased it there. Both said that she has gone to Radio Shack and has purchased it there.
So
And has purchased it there.
So here you cannot say, Johannes, that's crazy. I said Walmart. But when I say, Bo said that she went to Radio Shack and purchased it there, then you could say, Johannes, that's not true. Um, I went to Walmart. No, you would say, I said that I went to Walmart, not to Radio Shack.
Oh, okay.
Hmm. Or is this completely wrong what I think here? Because when I googled for reported speech, mm, how should I say? Google tells me that the tempus, the use tempus is shifted while reported speech, and this is a very strange thing for me. I have here an example. I want to read one of the examples, for instance. Wait a second. So, Susan. This is what
but you
Susan
know
is.
what? I would say
Listen
that Bo
closely.
had
Wait a second.
gone.
Wait a second. Susan is saying now, Mary works in an office. And reported speech, Susan said that Mary worked in an office. Not Mary works in an office, Mary worked in an office.
Yes, Susan has said that Mary works in an office.
Wait a second. This was the example. Susan. Mary works in an office. Now, the reported speech example was like this. Susan said that this in brackets or in braces for indirect speech, yes, but we can also leave it blank here. She worked in an office. This is the initiate expression by Susan. And now I'm talking about that what Susan said. Susan said she worked in an office.
No, she said that Mary works in an office.
Yes, exactly.
Susan has said that Mary worked in an office.
So when I use has said...
is it present tense? Mary works in an office. Susan says that Mary works in an office.
This is the same situation than before.
If it's present, Susan says that Mary works in an office.
Yeah.
Past tense, Susan said that Mary worked in an office. Mary worked, Susan. Mary
Yes,
works
what she says in the moment of saying is not important because the reported speech is talking about things that are in past.
Right. Susan said that Mary worked in an office.
So what if Susan says something like this? Mary worked in an office. Now she she's um, she's
Sick.
where
She's
she's
sick.
she's sick. Okay. Poor Mary. Okay.
Right.
Maybe this is that what Susan said. Yeah. But now this changes here, isn't it? Susan said that Mary has worked in an office, isn't it?
Or Susan said that Mary worked in an office.
But that this means another thing you said before.
That Mary worked in an office.
Susan
But
said that
Susan
Mary
is
worked in
saying,
an office.
all right, I'm Susan. Mary worked in an office. Now she's sick. Mary has worked in an office, but now she's sick. Susan has said that Mary worked in an office, but now
Now she's sick.
she's sick. Yeah, Mary. Susan said that Mary has worked in an office.
Mm-hmm.
Susan said that Mary has worked in an office,
And what
but
about this
now
sentence? Now she was
um,
sick?
I would just put a comma and say, but now she's sick.
Wait a second, this is not what I said. I cannot say she is sick. Can I say Susan reported also that that Mary was sick? Isn't it like
Mary
this?
works in an office. Susan said that Mary has worked in an office. Susan reported also that Mary was sick. Yes, that's better.
Yeah,
Mary worked in
the
an
thing is,
office.
I need it concrete. Yeah, how do I transform now into reported speech? Susan reported also that Mary now was sick. No,
Was sick now.
was sick now. Okay,
Susan reported that Mary was sick now.
so I can transform. Susan said, no, wait a second. Now she is sick. When this a person says, then I can say the person reported that mm, Mary was sick. That Mary was sick now.
Right.
Aha. Yes, and then they cannot sue me when I misunderstand something.
No, because Susan reported it.
Yeah, yeah.
And then put
Mhm.
those quotes in before the punct.
Yes, and I cannot do this now because of the software.
That's okay. That's okay.
But the comma here is correct, isn't it?
Yes. Susan reported also that Mary was sick now, or that Mary was now sick, or that Mary
Was
was now
now
sick.
sick. Ah, here I can put now. Now
Now
sick.
sick.
Okay, so now we found a way to quote what another person said about anyone or anything. And this explains the shift between the tenses.
Right.
So when I use here, when the person is saying something about anyone in present tense, I have to use Susan past tense, and I have to transform the past tense into the present tense into past tense.
Yes, unless you're just answering a question like, where does Mary work? Mary works in an office.
Yes, but
Or
here's the question. Here is the question. What was Susan talking about Mary?
Right. So that goes along with the conversation.
Yes, and then we have the report. Susan said that. This that here is the marker for the indirect speech. Yeah, but for English, I can just get rid of this. Yeah, it's not that important. In German, it's much easier to understand reported speech when you have the so-called that. Yeah, because we have the verb at the end afterwards when we have reported speech, and that announces now an indirect context. Yeah, this is very important, at least for the first part of the reported speech. Afterwards, you can use main clause sentences. Yeah, but the first one should be used together with the that.
See,
Um,
I would use that. I would use that. Susan said that Mary worked in an office. I
mm,
would use that.
Yes, and why do you use it the same intention like I would do? When you use the that, it's clear that it's an indirect part, and it's not something that you said, and you make it
Right.
completely clear with that.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Another example. I have been in London. Hoppla. For 15 years. Paul. I have been. Mm,
Staying. Staying.
in London for 15 years, then everything broke down. I bring it on to an home page. So, I have been staying in London for 15 years, then everything broke down. Paul,
Yes.
what has Bo, what has Paul reported?
Paul has Paul has said he has been in London for 15 years.
Isn't it better with that? That he?
Said that he has been in London for 15 years.
Yeah.
15 years. Uh, and then everything broke down.
I have been staying. Is it is staying not important? Paul has said that he.
Has been in London for 15 years,
But
and
he.
then everything broke
Wait a
down.
second. This is not what he said. He said that he stayed there for 15 years.
All right, that he has stayed in London
Okay, has
or
stayed.
has been staying in London for
Yeah.
15 years. And then everything went kaput.
Yes, then everything, uh, isn't it, has been broken down?
No,
No.
and then everything went haywire, or
Went
everything
haywire.
everything fell apart. Everything
And
broke down. Makes me think like, did the stove break down? Did the refrigerator break down?
this is the
Um,
question. We don't know it exactly. This is the reason why I used this example. We know it. We don't know it exactly. Was it something of his tool set that was how should I say, destroyed over the years? Yeah, or bit by bit by bit.
then maybe
Um,
everything fell apart.
Yes, this is the thing. Or was it a mental breakdown, or was it no money, no cash, no father, no bright light, or something like this? Yeah, you
Right.
know what I mean? We don't know about anything of his ideas, so
Right.
we
More
cannot.
clarification.
Yeah, but we have to say what he said about his life. Yeah, so we have to use reported speech. We cannot figure exactly out what the person wanted to say with this. So
Okay.
we need
So,
reported speech. We have no other choice.
so Paul said,
Yeah.
Paul, this is Paul speaking, right?
Okay, now I am Paul. I'm Paul. I have been staying in London for 15 years, then everything broke down. And you are the reporter, the journalist, and now you want to bring this expression into reported speech and into your newspaper. So, what do you write about me? Paul said,
Breaking, breaking news.
breaking news, yes. Paul said,
Breaking news. Paul has been staying in London for 15 years. Staying in 15 years. And then
where is the in London? Paul has been staying for
staying,
15 years
oh,
in London.
In London for 15 years.
Is this afterwards? Paul has
Yes,
been
for staying
staying in London
in London, in London,
for 15 years.
15 years. Punked.
Yeah.
Uh,
Afterwards,
uh, now this is the reporter.
yes, Paul has been staying
Paul
in
has
London for
been
15
staying
years.
in London for the past 15 years.
Yeah.
Now everything has fallen apart.
Has fallen apart.
Fallen. Fallen.
Ah.
Fallen apart. He will be coming home.
Maybe,
He will be
maybe. Who
leaving.
knows? Who knows? Yeah. But here we have broke down, and now we have
Yeah.
has fallen down, has
Yeah, I don't like
fallen
broke
apart.
down.
Now we have a change in the tense.
Everything has broken down.
Yeah, but why is here now the change in the tense and here not? Has been staying.
In London for the past 15 years.
We have a
Now
change in the
everything.
perspective. We have a change in the perspective. Paul, yes, he has been staying. So this is the reporting part, which is based on facts, is not changing the tenses.
Right.
You're right. So Paul has been staying in London for the past 15 years.
15
Now
years.
everything has fallen apart.
Right.
Everything has broken down.
I would say fallen apart, but broken down, if that's how you use that word.
Well, this is what he said. It's not about that what we
Oh,
think, it's about that
oh
what the
yeah,
person
right.
said. But we want to avoid a sue. We don't want to
Right.
say anything wrong. And when we say something wrong, we want to use an English term which prevents the other person from suing us.
Now he has said everything has fallen apart.
Has fallen apart.
Now he has said. So then you can't get sued because he said it.
Everything has fallen
Everything.
apart. Aha. And now here we have the commas.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I read it
Everything is
again.
broken.
So now I'm Paul. Yeah, no,
Okay.
you are Paul. Please read it.
I've been in London for 15 years now, and I've been in, I've been in London. Where have you been? I have been staying in London for 15 years. Then everything fell apart. Everything
I
fell
don't
apart.
believe you that you were staying in London for the past 15 years because there is no British accent.
I kept my original accent.
But could you please try to aim the British accent for me while reading this?
I've been staying in London for the past 15 years. Then everything. Paul reported having stayed in London for 15 years. Then everything broke down.
So Paul
Said,
has been
has,
staying in London for the past 15 years. Now he has
am
said,
I the reporter? Am I the reporter?
"No, I'm the reporter."
Oh,
Paul
okay.
has been staying in London for the past 15 years. Now he has said everything has fallen apart.
Okay. Johannes has said that Paul has been
That Paul
staying in
has been
London.
saying, no, no, Johannes said that the reporter has said, or isn't it? Johannes said that the reporter reported that
No,
Paul,
Johannes
Johannes said that the reporter has reported, isn't it? Has
reported
reported that Paul,
has been staying in London
yeah,
for the past 15 years.
uh-huh, period. And how
Now,
does it continue? Now,
now he said everything has fallen apart.
who? The reporter?
Now, Peter, no, now Paul has
Paul?
said, now Paul has said that everything has fallen apart.
Hoppla.
1P.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Habla.
So, Paul has said. Now, wait a second. I think
All
I
right.
lost the line here.
Johannes
Johannes
said the
said
reporter.
that the
Oh,
reporter
yeah.
has reported. Johannes said that the reporter has reported that Paul has been staying in London for the past 15 years. Paul, no, the reporter also reported that now
Everything has
everything has
fallen
fallen
apart.
apart. Yes. Interesting, interesting. So, So when I say that another person said something about another person, so Peter said that Bo said, or no, Bo has reported. So this I can do, isn't it? I can say Peter said that Bo
Yes.
has reported that,
Yes.
and then I can say the content in. What do I have to do? Do I have to shift the tenses about one tense or more tenses?
Peter has Peter said that Bo has reported that Paul has been living in London for the past 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Now Paul said that everything has
No,
fallen
Peter.
apart.
Peter reported about Paul.
Oh yeah, now
Yeah?
word about Paul. Now Peter reported that everything has fallen apart for Paul.
Ah,
Now
Peter
Peter reported
reported that.
everything
Uh-huh.
has fallen apart for Paul. Peter has said that Bo has reported that Paul has been living in London for the past 15 years. Peter has said that Bo has reported that Paul has been living in London for the past 15 years. Now, Peter reported that that everything has fallen apart for Paul. I would put a comma after, yeah.
But
Now,
why? Why? Here is a that. Why a comma?
Peter reported Peter reported everything has fallen apart. That because it already happened. It's already happened. Or now Peter reported. You just use that everything has fallen apart for Paul. Now Peter reported everything has fallen apart for Paul. You could leave that out, but I would put it in there.
Yes,
But
the discussion was not about the that. The discussion was because of the comma.
right now Peter reported. All right, now take it away. Take that comma away. Now Peter reported that everything has fallen apart for Paul.
Yeah. Okay. So when I say something about something, another person was telling a third person, then I have this chain. So Peter said that Bo has reported. Carol said that Bo has reported, has said. Ja, also so this I need this chain. For the German language, we switch to Konjunktiv 2. So when we say Peter hat gesagt, dass Bo gesagt habe, das. So we have two that here, and this is the Konjunktiv 1. Peter hat gesagt, this is just a perfect tense, ja. Peter hat gesagt, dass Bo gesagt habe, das. And now we switch this original thing to Konjunktiv 2, because this is the chain of the quotation. We don't shift the tenses in that style. It's being changed at the English language. We change it from indicative to conjunctive and from conjunctive to Konjunktiv 2. So when the original was heute ist es schön, when this the original is today it's beautiful. Yeah. When this is the original, and when Paul is this saying, then in German we have Paul sagte. It's a past tense. Ja, Paul sagte, dass es schön sei. It's not ist, is, it's sei. This is the conjunctive 1. This is this form we use when we do a quotation. So Paul sagte, dass es schön sei. But what is when Hildegard is talking about that what Paul said? Hildegard, Paul hat gesagt, Heute ist es schön. This is the original phrase. This is what Paul said, yes. And Hildegard is now talking about that, what Paul says about today.
Peter.
No, Paul, not Peter.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Come on.
and now we have something like this. Hildegard is talking about Paul. Ja? Hildegard sagte, dass Paul gesagt habe, this is Konjunktiv 1, dass es schön wäre. And this we have Konjunktiv 2. And we shift through the, how should I say, through the stages of conjunctive, because this is not that what Hildegard said, this is that what Paul said. But this is just a tiny comparison and the reason why I'm so confused about the English usage of reported speech. Bo, I hope that I understood it correctly.
Oh, I hope I said it all correctly.
I will have a look onto Google and I will check it again how to shift the tenses inside of reported speech, and I hope so that how should I say this will be much more clearer for me. Clearer, yeah. I hope that it will be clearer for me, and yeah.
You know, there's you can push that predictive text and it will underline where you have made a mistake.
This does not work. Not for all the languages. I'm so sorry. This doesn't work.
Oh, not for yours.
When how should I say? The thing is, what is syntactical correct? Yes, but the oven is jumping over the river is I'm sure when you watch on this sentence in a grammatically perspective, then this sentence is correct. But it's always about the meaning and the thing. How can you understand something? So let's do it vice versa at the end. And when I say Gerhard said that he was at the cinema, what was the initiate expression by Gerhard?
To you?
Yeah.
Gerhard, to you? Hello, Johannes. I've been at the movies.
I have been at the movies. Gerhard said that he was at the cinema.
Gerhard said that he was at the cinema. Yeah.
So Gerhard said Gerhard's initiate expression was I has been at the movies.
So if you said, where have you been? I've been at the movies. I have been at the movies. I have
the
been.
Feeling,
I was already there.
I have the feeling
I
that
have been.
For English, it's the same hard and heavy as in German when you try to quote someone's expressions. You have to know everything about the context that you can report it correctly. So when someone is saying he said that he was at the cinema, then the person could also say, I am at the cinema.
Currently,
Currently, yes, this is
right?
exactly the thing. So, y- before in some days, you said to me something like this. Please don't sue me when it's incorrect. But you said something like this. Yes, the German language needs this extra correctness and very very correct usage of the words. I think this is also valid for English. And
Yes, it is.
it's
But
not that easy. It's not that
particularly
easy.
for German.
When some no, I think it's completely the same thing, but another side of the medal. Yeah, but I think it's this,
Yeah.
it's completely the same thing. When I say Paul said that he went to school between the 80s and the 90s. What was the original expression by Paul?
Paul said
No,
he
the
went to
original.
school
Imagine
during,
you're Paul. What was the original expression?
I went to school in the 80s and 90s.
Aha. It's not I have been at school between the 80s and 90s. This
No,
it wasn't. Yeah, this it wasn't.
no.
And
I mean,
and
that's true. That's true that you have been at school in the 80s and 90s, but it's not the 80s and 90s now. So you have
mhm.
to say, I went to school or I was attending school during the 80s and 90s.
But what if the original expression was I had been at school between the 80s and 90s during the Cold War, and suddenly a new president was voted.
um, he's talking to you, talking to you. I had
This,
been in school.
yeah.
I had been in school during the 80s and 90s, and then the Cold War broke out.
Came to an end. I think this was the
Oh,
end
okay, came to
thing.
the end. I had been at school during the 80s and 90s, and then, uh, and afterwards, the Cold War ended.
Yes. Now you have an idea about what I was talking about. It's not that easy to pick the correct tense. Even in English, everyone says, Johannes, English is so easy. You just have to study this and that, and then all think about the auxiliary verbs and about the other things that are existing in English. It's so easy. You have the fixed the structure of the objects and the direct and the indirect objects and blah 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 blah. Everything is so easy. Yes, I don't struggle with the structure. Yeah. But how the hell should I understand this and that expression? Yeah. This is the structure isn't the
It's the same in
problem.
German. It's the
Yes.
same in
Yes.
German.
In the structure is I never had troubles with any structures. Yeah, most of the structures had troubles with me. Yeah, but no, I'm just kidding. I
Because
never had.
you were brought up with that. You were brought up that way, just as I was brought up that way. Now, had my parents been
Mm,
speaking a different kind of dialect or a different way of speaking, like say a Mexican or a uh, refugee, they pick up some words and then they use them and try to find a verb that would go with it. like I do. And it's not always correct. But in German, it changes the meaning a lot more than in English. And in English, it seems
I
you can
think that
get
you
by with.
don't know enough about the German language that you can say something like this. Maybe you have
It just
now,
seems.
maybe now you think about this because last week we had a stream about uh, mm, so-called teapot words, yeah, words with lots of different meanings. Yeah. Um, but it's the same in English. Use the word get. So how many meanings does the word get have? You can say he gets this, he
Uh,
got that, get off. Yeah, you can combine it with thousands of words. Yeah, or the word set. Yeah, when I want to set something into a cupboard, yes, it's inside of the cupboard, yeah. But I'm even sitting in some kind of a set, yeah. And there are so many meanings for one and the same word. And this, I think this is in every language like this. But with dialects, it's a bit more complex. Yeah, when you have dialects, then you have less words but more meanings.
if you have, if you use the right words,
Yes, and you
if
can
you
talk
to
lots of
convey
bullshit.
them, you're right.
Yeah.
But to convey a meaning, you would use certain words. But you can also use other words,
Hmm.
just like in German. You can switch some of those words.
In German, for instance, we have the word drucken, which can mean express. No, which can mean print. Yeah, drucken, to print something, to plot something. When you have a plotter, um, this we also say to plot something as a plotten instead of to plot. Yes, but what about expressions? Ausdruck in German. So-called Ausdruck could be a print on a page, yeah, on a page, piece of paper, done electronically by a printer, der Ausdruck, yeah. But it could be also mean expression, an expression, um, a term, a written word, for instance, or also the type of of how anyone behaves, yeah, express him or herself. Ausdruck. One and the same word, but two major meanings. And yeah, I think for English, I also know at least 100 words which have at least two meanings.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Excluding set, get, and put. Yeah, but these, I think, these words are very, very, yeah. I think they have a a huge variety of usage.
Variety.
Variety, yes, variety of usage. Yeah, you
Yeah,
can use. There is a big diversity of usage between
right. Like when I was trying to do the on Zian,
anziehen, yes,
scene.
anziehen.
So Z
To put on
is
your
a verb.
shoes, die Schuhe anziehen. Put on the shoes, die Schuhe anziehen.
Not an at the end.
Anziehen, anziehen. Where is an N at the end?
No, I
No,
thought it was
unseen.
an.
Unseen is like switch on, switch off. It's a phrasal verb. Yeah, it's like a phrasal verb. In special conditions in German, there is the prefix splitted. But when I use the infinitive, I say die Schuhe anziehen. This is the infinitive, and afterwards I can say ich ziehe die Schuhe an. I put on my shoes. Ich ziehe die Schuhe an. An is at the end. It's the prefix, and under these special circumstances in present present tense, it gets at the end of the sentence. Yeah, you can remember. Ich ziehe die Schuhe an, or ich ziehe die Schuhe
I
aus.
was
I
just
put
doing
off the
that this
shoes.
morning.
Yeah, I know. I
Yeah,
replied to your private message.
I know, but I did it over. I did it over.
Bo wrote, I think I got it now. I'll do over. Ich mache es noch einmal. I will repeat. I'll do it. I'll do over. Yeah. And whom? The question is whom. Ja. Wem ziehst du die Schuhe an? Whom? Ich ziehe mir die Schuhe an. The reflexive version of the verb anziehen, sich anziehen. Ich ziehe mir die Schuhe an. Ich ziehe dir die Schuhe an.
Ooh.
Anziehen.
All right, I have to study that.
No, we will explore this tomorrow, because tomorrow is Tuesday, and on Tuesday I think we have a meeting.
Me too. I'm doing more homework now.
Yes,
I'm doing more homework.
independently of any success, I suggest
Yes.
to have the appointment tomorrow. Same time, but not same station. I will submit you a new invitation link to Zoom
Okay.
tomorrow. I think tomorrow morning, or
Right.
at least before noon. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to do more. I'm doing more. I got it. I'm doing the Finden, and the Hilfen, and the Aussehen. Aussehen. I got it. I think I got it on Zayn.
Well, there is a difference between anziehen and ansehen.
Oh, Sehen.
There is a
Sehen.
tiny difference. Let me show you
On
something.
Sehen.
Wait a second. Let me show you something. Anziehen, ansehen.
Yeah. On Sehen.
Yes, when we watch something or look at something and we do it in a conscious way, we use ansehen. Yeah?
Sehen.
So when I watch a
See.
movie, I say ansehen. When I do it consciously, when I do it not consciously, I say sehen. Yeah, it's just by the way. It's not the conscious act of watching. It's it's the unconscious way of watching. So ich sehe den Film an. Ansehen. Ich sehe
Yeah.
den Film an. And ich sehe einen Film. This is not conscious. Yeah, it's just by the way. It's just yes, the movie is maybe on television or on Netflix or wherever. And now I'm watching the movie, but it's unconsciously. It's just the movie is there, and I'm just watching it. But this this is I'm inside the plot. Huh? I'm very on the on the plot of the movie. Yeah, when here is someone disturbing, I'm really angry. Yes,
But not schauen, huh?
sehen and schauen is similar. Do you know the difference between theater and theater?
No.
The difference is British and American English.
Uh,
Yes,
so I
and
write British.
sehe
I
and
usually write British, I
schauen
guess.
und schauen is the same.
I see it. Yeah.
Yeah. One of this is more northern German and one is more southern German.
Southern.
Southern
Southern.
southern German, yes.
Yeah.
Sehe, schaue.
Northern and Southern.
Yes. And then there are more slang words like ich gucke den Film an. Gucke.
I like the film. I like
No,
watching the
it's
film.
also sehen, schauen, but it's more slang word.
Oh, oh,
Yeah.
oh, oh.
So,
Let's
but it's
screenshot that.
similar with English. Yeah. I don't think that you would ask this your lawyer.
Right.
Yes, because it's not formal enough.
Okay.
um,
Oh, so it's on saying. Oh, okay.
I
And
think
on
this
showing.
you also
On
wouldn't
kicking.
ask your lawyer.
Yeah. No,
Yes,
no.
yes, it's because it's too slang. It's not too slang. It's too slangy. I don't know
So
the adverb.
ich sehe den Film on.
Yes, when you do it consciously, you say ich sehe den Film an. Because when someone asks, Bo, what are you doing? You could say, ich schaue gerade den Film an, ich sehe gerade den Film an. But you wouldn't say den, you would say einen. You would say den Film when you talked about the movie before and everyone knows what movie you mean. Yeah, then you would say den Film. But it's similar in English. I'm watching a movie. A movie. I'm watching a movie.
Okay.
This is when you do it
But the best
currently.
is,
And when someone is disturbing when you watch a movie, when you are watching a movie and someone is disturbing, what would you say?
shut up.
Yeah.
Please be quiet.
Bo,
Bitte, bitte.
what are you doing? You would say, "Shut up! I'm watching a movie. Bye."
Okay, please be quiet.
Yeah,
Please be quiet.
please be quiet. No, you know what I mean. Yes, there are several stages of politeness. Yeah, but this is just I'm watching a movie. One, no, we haven't talked about a particular film or movie before, so it's einen Film ansehen. And when you would find something like this at the dictionary, because these
Looking at.
these verbs are uh, participle verbs. These verbs are similar to the phrasal verbs in English, and here you have these prefixes that are pushed to the end of the sentence when it's a present tense sentence and when this sentence does not have a modal verb inside. For instance, ich sehe den Film an. Ich muss den Film ansehen.
Okay.
Yeah, here we have a modal verb,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then we have the complete verb at the end of the sentence. Yeah. And ich habe den Film ansehen müssen. Here we have past, perfect tense with a modal verb. Ich habe den Film angesehen, but ich habe den Film ansehen müssen. Here we use twice infinitive with habe.
Yeah.
Ich habe den Film angesehen. This is perfect tense without modal verb. And it confused you that we have main clauses and secondary clauses. Ich war nicht da, weil angesehen habe. Ich war nicht da, weil ich den Film angesehen habe. Because needs a secondary clause. I always do these parentheses just to say that there is no position 1 and no position 2. Sorry. Here are the parentheses. In this sentence, in this secondary clause, there is no position 1 and no position 2. At the position 2, regularly, there is the verb. Yeah, but we have no position 1 and no position 2 in secondary clauses. And this pushes the whole verb on the end of the sentence. Ich den Film angesehen habe. Ich habe den Film angesehen, weil ich den Film angesehen habe. No position 1, no position 2. Weil, because. Yeah. Then we have no position 1 and no position 2, so we have no verb on the second position. So the full verb is at the end of the sentence. This is perfect tense, weil ich den Film angesehen habe. The main clause, ich habe den Film angesehen.
Yeah.
Yes.
So and I don't have to repeat the ich.
This is the main clause. Here is the ich. You have to repeat ich.
Oh, I do have to.
Yes. The secondary clause just means that you have no position 1 and no position 2. It's just being left blank. Yeah, we have no position 1 and no position 2. It's not existing in secondary clauses. Here we have a main clause. Ich war nicht da. I was not there. It's past tense. I was not there because I watched a movie. I have been watching a movie. I have been watching a movie. This is
All
a
right.
perfect tense clause in a secondary clause. And this is a
All right.
perfect tense clause, but as a main clause. Ich habe den Film angesehen. Here we have a position 1 and a position 2. Here is an auxiliary verb, habe, yeah,
Right.
and here we have the past participle at the end. Uh,
The habe.
and here we have both the past participle and the auxiliary verb at the end because it's a secondary clause. I hope you're now completely confused.
Now I'll go back and do the homework over.
Yes, now you can make your table about the structure differences between main clause and secondary clause with the example with while and without while, also with because and without because.
Oh, that's all. Oh, okay.
Weil ich die Schuhe
Okay.
anziehe, weil du die Schuhe anziehst, weil er, sie, es, man die Schuhe anzieht.
See.
Ja, er, sie,
Yeah.
es, man zieht die Schuhe an, weil er, sie, es, man die Schuhe anzieht. Er, sie, es, and man works completely the same. Yeah.
Yeah, Mann, but no Frau, huh?
Wait a second. No, this is an impersonal pronoun. We use it for general tips. For instance, when you go into the shower, you have to put off your clothes. And
Close.
clothes, yes. When you say something like this, and a general tip, then you replace the you with the man in German. Wenn man in die Dusche geht, zieht man sich aus. But this has nothing to do with men or women. This is the impersonal
Oh, all
pronoun
right.
man, and we spell it with M-A and N, just with one N. And
Right.
it's written lowercase. It's not a noun, it's a pronoun. And yes, all the general tips. Yeah. I know in English there is no impersonal pronoun available. Then this is the reason why you say you. Yeah. When you go to the lawyer, you have to take lots of money with you. Yeah. So a general tip. Yeah. In German we would say, wenn man zum Anwalt geht, muss man viel Geld mitnehmen.
Okay. Instead of air.
Yes, because the man represents everyone. Yeah, it
All
represents.
right.
It's like he and she and it, but it's valid for all, for everyone.
All right.
But there is a very
Never
interesting
mind.
phenomenon. I don't know if it's similar in English, but please remember back while working at the hospital, how when anyone was saying something like, "I think we have to clean up the room," mm, was this person meaning everyone? Including the person that was saying, I think we have
Oh,
to tidy up the room? Or was this person just meaning all the other persons?
um,
I think we have to
they
tidy
were,
up the
I think,
room.
yeah, I would think that they meant themselves and everybody else that was around.
Really? When someone in
Well,
Austria
we have to,
is saying, ich
if I
glaube,
say
wir
we
müssen
have
mal
to clean up,
putzen. when someone in Austria is saying, ich glaube, wir müssen mal putzen, I think we must tidy up the room, then this person means everyone except the speaker. Yeah, the person that said this.
Oh.
I
Yeah,
think we
not
have
here.
to. I think we
Um,
have to
if we
clean
say, I think
the
we need to clean
cupboard,
the room up, I mean all of us.
including yourself.
Yeah.
Really?
Otherwise, I would say, I think you, I think you all need to clean up this room.
Aha, aha, aha. So this is, I think this has something to do with culture. When, but for sure, when in our surroundings someone says something like this, yeah, I think we should tidy up the room. Then the person most of the time means everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, and but this has nothing to do with in general statements. Yeah, this has something to do with the person wants to connect to wants to make a connection to everyone, but the person don't want to say you have to do it in a very direct
Right.
way. Yeah. So
Right.
the person says something like, "I think we should do this and we should do that," and the
Right.
person then is very, very angry when the other persons ignore this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is this similar or is it completely
Oh, yeah.
different? Ah, it's similar.
No,
Okay.
similar.
Ah, okay.
Similar.
So
Totally.
okay, then we have something in common. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Um, another thing. So you are going to finish the homework today, so we can talk about the homework tomorrow. So yes, before noon I will submit the Zoom meeting link for you,
Okay.
and I uh, think that everything is on time. Yes. So this I was just thinking about the timetable.
Right. Right.
Because tomorrow there is no stress. I was so astonished. I don't know if I can say it like this, but I was astonished because of my timetable for tomorrow, because there is I think nothing except at 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. So
Right.
I think I will test the bed tomorrow
Okay.
before noon.
So tomorrow it's at 11 o'clock
What is tomorrow?
for
Till
the
11?
lesson.
Uh,
Tuesday. Dienstag.
why 11?
No lesson.
No, sure. We meet at 9, or for you, I
No,
think it's 1, isn't it? 1 in the
no, I mean
afternoon.
the live stream. No live stream,
Sure.
Morgan's.
This is the appointment at 7 p.m. and at 9 p.m. we meet.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
and the time until noon tomorrow, I think I'm going to test my bed.
Yes, you should do that now.
Yes, the last trial period is very, very long time ago.
Oh my. All
Yeah,
right,
I
go
have to.
try it out.
Yes, I will immediately do it after our talk. So what time is it? I think it's 11. Yes, it's one
It's
minute to 11.
almost,
Yeah, almost 11. So, Bo, thanks so much for joining today. And thanks for trying to figure out the reported speech together with me. I promise to do a research about this, and I hope we can come back to this topic someday, when I know more
yeah,
about this, and
I
then I
never
will
knew there
try
was
it out.
a so you go to a site where and you put in for reported speech.
Yes,
Is it
I
an
try
app?
to find a table with conjugation or something like this to see the differences, the changes, and yeah, the possibilities of expressions. And maybe we can then discuss about the difference of the meanings. Yes, when it's this or that expression in the direct comparison. I mean, then maybe we can talk about this. But tomorrow we will meet for German. The public class starts at 7 p.m. and our private class at 9 p.m.
Right.
Right. Okay. So have a
Okay.
nice rest of your day, Bo. Lots of fun with your
Danke,
homework.
danke.
Ja, sehr gerne. And for me, good night. And for you, have a nice afternoon.
Gute Nacht.
Bye,
Gute Nacht.
Bo. Gute Nacht.
Dankeschön.
Gerne.
Tschüss.
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 Danke. Tschüss.